This is the Homeless Home Blanket, a potential 3-in-1 solution to difficult conditions for people living on the streets.
Essentially, it's a jacket that converts into a sleeping bag that converts also into a crossover satchel.
The jackets are really helpful. Before the jackets, it was a matter of having a lot of blankets. So now the jackets actually cut down that size, because now stashing it when you come back, sometimes the metro guys, they take them away, so at least if you only have 2, you can actually walk around with them. During summer when it rains, it's tough being on the street. We struggle with places where we can actually be able to keep our clothing and blankets and so on, and that's why it's much more harder in summer than in winter. The other years are usually worse because it gets cold like the whole month. That's when we face serious challenges when it's like that, yeah.
So the idea behind it was to use fashion in order to answer to the problem that homeless people experience in the cold. And as we know, the homeless men and women on our streets, they move around, and when they lay down for the night, they then need a warmer space to be.
The design came up probably about 15 years ago, and I was trying to work out a way that you could ride bicycles in winter without freezing. So what I used to do is stuff newspaper into my clothing so that I could dispose of it later on in the day. And then that would insulate you, and it would be very easy to take off. After that, I made some prototypes for cycling, and then realized that this could solve some of the issues around homelessness.
The Homeless Home Blanket is used by getting into it the same way you would get into a sleeping bag. There are multiple places where you're able to stuff newspaper, clothing, or blankets into the jacket to insulate it.
We roll out the jackets in 3 different ways. The first is we have a BackaBuddy site, so we've been raising funds through the BackaBuddy site in order for us to then distribute the jackets on behalf of the people who have donated for them. The second way is that organizations can buy them in bulk and distribute them around their own communities, or even community structures can do that. Or if you want to buy one and give it to somebody that that lives in the area that you live in, then that's another way that you can distribute the jackets.
It's been extremely difficult this winter with the extra cold and the wind coming through. I'm very blessed for this opportunity as the people donated this sleeping bag and this jacket for me. It will really, really help, because I won't be as tired, because when you sleep at night and you're cold, you can't sleep properly, and then you're tired, you're just lethargic during the day. And it's people like this that makes a difference in our lives.
Now we're on our 4th, let's say, prototype. With the discussions we have with the homeless people telling us what they need, rather than us guessing what they need, it's ongoing. So even from what we're doing now, for this winter, by next winter it's going to be a completely different thing.
There are so many homeless men and women who live on our streets, and most people just look past them. So the fact that we had engaged with trying to create something that would be helpful for them has been heartwarming on all sides, I think.
The gratitude that people show has been quite, I can say, almost overwhelming.